Alright, now we're in the round where stuff gets real. Literally. Okay, this is the round where we first introduce the live-action realm besides what we've already seen with Hollywood and Captain Hook. This is where we make the live-action round a thing where there's, there are now 3 universes. The 2D, the 3D, and the live-action. And last round, we had where Mock ran into Cruella, and he told her, "I'm sure you're into reaching new levels of consciousness." And I'll tell you why that's now a meme among us, because unlike the original context in Rock and Roll, where he, of course, uses the phrase to describe getting high on staring at pretty lights, which was a really creative sci-fi concept. This time, he says it to introduce Cruella to the idea of transporting to different dimensions. And so, whenever now we have anyone that goes between the 2 universes, because there are several characters that have 2 or more forms, and this is also true in, this is even more true in Disney versus Marvel, because you have Loki go from 2D in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes to live action in Thor and the Avengers, and Maleficent go from 2D in Sleeping Beauty to 3D in Kingdom Hearts footage. So we have a lot of new levels of consciousness in Disney versus Marvel. And anytime we switch dimensions, it's new levels of consciousness. And so we have to spam that meme everywhere. It's part of the non-alcoholic drinking game. Whenever anyone says new levels of consciousness, you have to take a shot. So we begin by picking up. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, Mock, Cruella, and Holly is actually a love triangle, the 2 women fighting over Mock. Well, actually, neither of them knows about the other woman. Well, it's kind of hilarious, because Mock would totally do that. That box is going to become a plot point later. Mock sends her to the live-action realm. And here we have kind of our demons. Pinhead is the archdemon, and Freddy Krueger is his best mercenary. And, when this fight was revealed, all of us were like, "Oh no! Cruella is gonna get the floor wiped with her." And then this happens. Wait for it.
No, red isn't your color.
And we were all like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" And then the 2 of them set in fighting, and Cruella de Vil charges Freddy Krueger with a freaking pitchfork. This version of Cruella is not to be messed with, because she wiped the floor with Freddy Krueger. That was like, the best one-liner. "Darling, red isn't your color." I just can't get enough of that. Yes, he may have won, but she survived, and I think we all can agree that she came out on top. We have Sark versus Gideon Graves. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is one of those movies everyone tells me I should see. I kind of want to, but I've heard mixed reviews, so I actually don't have anyone that would see it with me. So, yeah. That's the sad, pathetic story of my life and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Yeah, as 73 Women said, this was interesting because these were 2 very game-inspired villains who were in live-action movies. And then we have Morgana Le Fay versus Bavmorda from Willow. Bavmorda is probably the villain that's gotten the least attention of anyone in the tournament because no one really knew who she was. And everyone was surprised that Morgana died so early. But there's a reason for that. The reason is because we can't have Horvath tie his allegiance to her anymore. Because he needs to tie his allegiance to a new mistress who is I hate to say it, but even better than Morgana Le Fay. And you'll see what happens in the epilogue. And it's totally worth killing Morgana off this early if Horvath can be allied with his new mistress. I mean that in the boss way of mistress, not that Horvath and Jadis are actually a couple. So yeah, Bavmorda destroys Morgana, and she has a little more to do later. Davy Jones has somehow gotten himself into a match of Mortal Kombat. So Shang Tsung is like, Goro, I choose you! This is a bit imagined dialogue heavy at the beginning. It's worth it, because the editing in this is really good. This is another fight that Winman did. Although, Manwoo helped a little bit. I love how bright green that filter is. I think this is probably one of the more well-done fights of the live-action run in terms of editing. And Davy Jones has just won a round of Mortal Kombat without having to set foot on land. Goro learns the price of failure. Da 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 da. Okay. Now we're at the prison where Dr. Claw is being held, and Judge Doom is here. Remember how I said that the wise guy was knocked into cheese dip, and I wasn't kidding? I wasn't kidding, it was cheese dip. Man, woo, even said so. And here we have Count Olaf. Okay. Series of Unfortunate Events was not that good of a movie, but I still love it because it's based on one of my favorite book series, and, you know, Jim Carrey is hilarious as Olaf. And this is a great plot point because Olaf, his greatest weapon is that he's hilarious in both book and movie form. And so, you know, it's just genius for him to realize that he could kill the Toon Patrol by, making them laugh themselves to death. It's too perfect. Because I've nearly laughed myself to death reading those books. An anchor. That's beautiful. He just pulls an anchor out of nowhere. He breaks out Dr. Claw, who, for being in a movie that not many people actually remember fondly, plays a huge role in this war. Olaf was originally supposed to just show up in this round and nothing else, and then they gave him a larger role, which I'm happy about because I love Count Olaf.